Duelists, it is I, Hellgear, and this is my Transcendosaur deck profile for post-Age of Overlord. In the previous set, Duelist Nexus, All Things Dinosaur got some nice buffs, but this deck itself managed to get a couple of cards added to the overall fun and destructive power of the Transcended Dinos. Glad to finally get this out because testing was quite the piece. As always, like, sub, and bell. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And let's count the cards. So as always, I begin with the pair of our good man, Xeno Meteorus. 2 is really all you need. If a card is destroyed, or if cards are destroyed, you can special summon this card from your hand. And I like this because it's not just your cards or your monsters. If your opponent destroys any of their cards on resolution, you can special summon this from your hand turn 0, which is a really great effect. Then during your main phase, you can destroy a dinosaur monster from your hand or field and special summon a normal dinosaur monster. But if you do, you're locked into special summoning dinosaur, dragon, sea serpent, and worm monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. That's a really big pool of monsters you can special summon from the extra deck, which gives your Transcendo Ed a lot of diversity. In addition to that, I run the big transcended form of Xeno. The Transcendosaurus monsters all share a similar ability, where if they would be destroyed, you can shuffle a normal monster from your graveyard into your deck to bring them back from the graveyard. Transcendo Meteorus can't be normal summoned or set. It has to first be special summoned by a card effect. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can destroy 2 other dinosaurs from your hand and or field to special summon this card from your hand. Also, if special summon, you can send a dinosaur from your deck to the graveyard. Now, because the Transcendos work with normal dinosaurs, the 2 normal dinosaurs that I have, I'm still running the Cobblezalls, by the way, but I'm also running a copy of Fire Opalhead. You can use the Transcendo Synchro Monster's non-transcended form, Glaciosaurus, if you don't have Fire Opalhead. But at my locals, Salamangreat is a thing, and they like to give you Weasel and hold you to Fire attribute monsters, thanks to Gozen Match. Oh, and shoutouts to the duelist who took 7th place at a regional with the Transcendo deck using Fire Opalhead. I give you the biggest amount of props. After that, we're going into our textbook dinosaur package, including one of the great Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. If you want to play a second one of these, you can take out Transcendo Meteorus. This card is so good. Can't be normal summon, of course. You're usually special summoning this card off of your wonderful, wonderful pills. But you can banish 2 dinosaurs to also special summon this card. It's a Book of Eclipse on the opponent's field by destroying a monster. Flipping them face down can swing at all of your opponent's monsters once each, and if it battles a defense position monster, it automatically destroys it while dealing 1000 damage. One Miscellaneousaurus. This is our dinosaur protection for the turn on discard. You can also banish it and a number of dinosaurs from your graveyard to special summon a dinosaur from your deck whose level equals the number of banished dinos, including this card. There are ban list talks that are saying that this might go to 2, and if it does, woo, dinosaurs are getting a big boost. Giant Rex is also a small little piece on this. It's one of your stepping stones to go into your extra deck plays, but you don't really use it for too much anything else. If it's banished, it special summons itself automatically once per turn. It can't attack directly, and it even gets a bit of an attack point boost for each of your dinosaurs that are banished as well. Continuing on with the dinosaur engine, we have the best normal summon in our deck. 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor, alongside 3 baby Ceratosaurus. These are literally your bread and butter for the deck. Soul Eating Oviraptor can, once per turn on summon, add a dino from deck and either place it in your hand or send it to the graveyard. This is a good way to set up your miscellaneous Saurus by usually adding this to your hand and then using its quick effect to pitch it to the grave to give you your protection. Also, once per turn, it can blast one of your level 4 lower dinosaurs on the field besides itself, to bring a level 4 lower dino back from the grave. Baby Ceratosaurus is like our other little baby of the deck, which I will talk about momentarily. If it gets blasted and not at a once per turn, you can special summon a level 4 lower dinosaur from your deck to your field. And you can use these a lot. You have to play 3 of these guys. The other baby is a Petite Pteranodon, which I play 1 of. Like baby Ceratosaurus, when it's blasted on field, it also gets you a dinosaur monster, but it's level 4 or higher. Wrapping up the regular textbook dinosaur package, we have 2 copies of Animadorn Archosaur, or as I like to call him, Archie! Yes, Edith, I do like to play my dinosaur deck. If normal summon, you can destroy a dinosaur on field or in your hand to get you one of your evolution pills. You're not going for anything else, and that is a once per turn. You want this because everyone knows dinosaurs need those wonderful magic pills to get big. For some of the rest of the dinosaur stuff here, I'm going into the scrap package here. So I'm running 2 copies of Scrap Raptor, aka Scraptor for the street duelists, 1 Chimera, and a Shark. There have been so many plays where I have taken out the Shark for a 3rd Scraptor, and the play comes up where I need this Shark. So if you don't want to play with the Shark, you can always add a 3rd Scraptor. The Scraptor is a tuner that can blast one of your scrap monsters to give you an additional scrap normal summon, which usually is your Chimera, but I'll talk about that momentarily. Also, if destroyed by a scrap monster, you can special summon, you can add a scrap, Jesus. Look at me going too fast. Add a scrap factory or non-tuner scrap monster from deck to your hand. Each of its effects are once per turn. Now, the good thing about Chimera is on normal summon, you can get a scrap tuner from your graveyard, which Scraptor happens to be a tuner. So it's a good key piece. Now, to those of you who are interested in playing Shark, know this. It has the awesome ability of adding a scrap monster from your deck to your hand when it's destroyed, and it automatically destroys itself if a spell or a monster effect is activated. Also, it's a fish monster, so this can get you another non-dinosaur monster main deck when we get to our pills. One Dogoran, aka Godzilla. This is the kaiju of the deck, and you can search it out. And of course, 1 Lithozogen. This is one of the best true kings. Since most of the dinosaur monsters are Earth, being able to special summon this by destroying 2 Earth monsters will get you its sweet effect on summon to take 3 extra deck cards with different names and banish them from your opponent's extra deck. So beautiful. So beautiful. It just really is. The hand trap of choice. 2 Droll and Lockbird. This keeps our opponent from drawing any more out of the deck after they've drawn the first time when you pitch it. That wraps up our monsters. Let's go into the spell game. We know about Monster Reborn and Call by the Grave, the Hand Trap Stopper, and Monster Bring Backer to extend our plays. Self-explanatory on these 2 guys. 3 copies of the Dinosaur Rota itself, Fossil Dig, getting us a level 6 or lower dino from deck to hand, and not once per turn. That's why it's so beautiful. I gotta get the ultra rare versions of this card. Another one of our sweet Rotas is the always crazy and super busted ground Xeno, which I also run 3 copies of. This can get you a dinosaur tuner on activation to your hand, and then you blast a card in your hand. Remember, there are 2 dinosaur tuners that we play in the deck. Scrapter is one, and Xeno Meteorus, which is a level 6 tuner. Yes, I'm mentioning this now because that's the part that's important. You can also banish your ground Xeno from your graveyard to fuse a dinosaur and a normal dinosaur monster to get out some big boy dinosaur extra deck plays on the fusion side of things. Another interesting card, and I added this recently, is Jurassic Power. Now, the 300 attack point boost for all your dinosaurs isn't important. The other 2 effects of this card are, first and foremost, it lets you normal summon level 5 or higher dinosaurs without tribute. So if you need to, once this card is active, you can just play Xeno Meteorus since it's a level 6. And as a reminder to those who are new to dinosaurs, 5 and 6 star monsters need 1 tribute. Also, once per turn, you can send a dinosaur to the grave from your field to add a dinosaur from your deck to your hand with 1200 defense points. Sure, you can add Giant Rex off of this thing because it has the 1200 defense points, but you're mainly using this to add back Godzilla, who also has 1200 defense points. Yeah, we got G1 in our deck, ladies and gentlemen. 2 copies of the field spell Lost World. This will nerf 500 attack from all non-dinos in play. And once per turn, when you summon a dinosaur monster, it gives a Jurek Egg token to the opponent, and they have to target it with their effects. Also, if normal monsters would be destroyed, you can destroy a dinosaur monster from your deck instead. And this works perfectly with our 2 normal monsters, Cobblezalls and Fire Opalhead. If an effect would normally blast these guys, you can just blast a dinosaur in your deck. Usually you're going to be blasting one of your sweet and innocent babies, or if you need to and the situation arises, blast the Petite Pteranodon to get you going on your plays and activate their effects. I mentioned the wonderful pills that make our dinosaurs big, and here they are. I'm actually running 1 of each. The double evolution pill, which is standard in dinosaur decks, and then the beta evolution pill Ultra Transcendence. Now, what's the difference between these 2 pills? Well, as some of you know, you need to banish 1 dinosaur and 1 non-dinosaur from your graveyard, so double evolution pill can special summon a level 7 or higher dinosaur monster from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions. That's the primary way of getting out our ultimate conductor Tyranno. Both of these pills are oats, by the way, 1 activation a turn. Now, what's so good about this pill? You can also give up 2 monsters, but you're not banishing them from the graveyard. You're tributing them from your hand or field. It's 2 monsters, 1 of them has to be a dinosaur. This will also, like double evolution pill, special summon a level 5 or higher dinosaur from your deck. But there's 2 caveats to this. 1, the dinosaur that you special summon off of this pill has to have an attack who's equal to or higher than the combined attack of the 2 monsters you used to tribute it. But in addition to special summoning that dinosaur from the main deck, Beta Evolution Pill can let you special summon a dinosaur with the level from your extra deck. Which means if you need to, you can get a really powerful dinosaur out of your extra deck. And like all the Transcendo cards, it does lock you into dinosaur, dragon, sea serpent, and worm monsters for the rest of the turn. And there are moments where you may not have that non-dinosaur in your graveyard, and you need to use this to get UCT out. The last two cards in the main deck are just two copies of Solemn Judgment himself. This is my flex spot, the Omni Negate, at the cost of half of your life. If you have two pots of prosperity, go ahead and use them, even though I'm thinking that they're going to limit that pot like they did in Master Duel. That wraps up the main deck, folks. Now let's get into the extra deck. The Fusion Transcendo himself is Gigantosaur. On summon, it adds a dinosaur from graveyard to hand. Then, if it was special summoned from the graveyard, you can blast two cards, one on your opponent's field and one in your hand. This is actually a very useful card because if you can use Xenometeorus' effect to hit it while it's in the graveyard, while you either have Cobblezaws or Fire Opalhead, however, in your graveyard, you can shuffle those guys and bring this back. Then you can use this effect to hit the cards. And if the one card in your hand that you blast off of the graveyard destruction effect is your baby Ceratosaurus, you literally have a nice way to extend your plays even on your opponent's turn. For the synchro action, we have Frostosaurus' Transcendosaur form, Glaciosaurus. It cannot die in battle. Also, dinosaurs special summoned from the graveyard cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If they can manage to get this off of the field, by card destruction effects, or if you destroy it with your own card effects and bring it back, it pretty much can end games on its own. Now, I do play Scrap Dragon in this build because there are those times where I don't want to go into my rank 4 Exceeds monster and I have my two scraps. You can target one card you control and another card on your opponent's field and blast them. So this can get you so this can actually work with your Transcendo Glaciosaurus. You can target your Transcendo Glaciosaurus, blast it, and blast your opponent's card. Then you can shuffle one of the two mentioned normal monsters to bring this back, and now it protects your dinosaurs. If Scrap Dragon is also outed by one of your opponent's cards, you can get a non-synchro scrap monster from your graveyard. Alright. Which is a very nice special summon. One copy of the Macho Man Boral Savage. We love our negates. One copy of Sorcerer Sovereign Cheng Ying. This is actually our level 10 worm. If you don't want to go into Baron de Fleur, or if you're locked into the four aforementioned types off of the Beta Evolution pill or Xenometeorus. It also keeps your monsters from being destroyed by that sweet, sweet protection. Our link monsters, which our Boral Savage will add on summon. We have our Link Haribo to go into our Secure Gardner. This will help us out with the double evolution play. One Cross Sheep. This is really good for its extra effects. If you do fusion summon your Gigantosaur towards one of its link arrows, you can special summon a level 4 monster from your graveyard, which is a very useful card. One Scrap Wyvern. This is another scrap so you can get from your graveyard if they out the Scrap Dragon. On its summon, you can special summon a scrap monster in your graveyard from the graveyard, then blast the card you control. And if you blast another scrap monster while this card is out, you can special summon a scrap monster from your graveyard and then blast another card. This card is also a very key thing for the next monster, which a lot of people wonder how we summon it out. And that's our new Transcendosaurus Exoraptor. When you go through your dinosaur combo, you're literally doing this. This is how you co-link your Transcendosaurus Exoraptor so it's in your main monster zone. You need 2 or more dinosaurs, including 1 level 6 or higher dinosaur, to link summon into your Transcendo Exoraptor. If special summon, you can special summon a dinosaur monster from your hand. Also, dinosaur monsters that this card points to, they would be destroyed, you can get a nice draw from your deck once per turn. Normally, you will want to special summon your Exoraptor when you go second. You're not summoning this out going first. You're special summoning this when you go second. I cannot stretch that enough. Now, I use World Sea Dragon Zelantis as another sea serpent monster when I'm locked into the types to simply wipe the board clean. If you have Apollosa, Bow of the Goddess, you can use that as your link for to give you some extra negates. Speaking of negates, we have our Evil Zor package. 1 Doka, 1 Logia, 1 Lars. All of these dragons that use dinosaurs for material can negate things. Logia can detach to negate spells or traps. Doka can detach to negate monsters. And Lars can detach to negate either or for the turn. And if you have just dinosaur materials on it, you can detach 1 instead of 2 to use its effect. The last monster in the extra deck is my Abyss Dweller. This is the other sea serpent that I have in the extra deck. And if you have Cobblezalls equipped to it as a McSee's material, you can boost up. You can get that water point boost up. But this guy on detach keeps your opponent at quick effect speed from activating any of their graveyard effects. The dinosaurs have come back from the dead to wreak havoc on our boards, and it's good to see these guys. But that's all for my Transcendosaur deck. I hope you enjoyed. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. But for now, I take my cards to the box because I'm done. Bye-bye, everybody.